feel it. It's like, no, you said you were going. Hey, everybody. Hold on one second. Sorry, I'm trying to get everything squared away. I'm gonna bring Jamila into the room in just a minute, but I just want to make sure that everyone can hear me. And I want to make sure that this is shared. So if you just give me a quick second to do some housekeeping, we will get right into it. Hold on one second. Give me a quick second. I can hear myself. Do some housekeeping. I'm gonna have to edit out the podcast, y'all. I'm gonna tag you in the repost, Jamila. Okay. I got that all shared now. Hold on, let me send this to one place. I appreciate y'all for being so patient while we come into the room. Okay, I'm ready. Welcome everyone back to another week of Sip and Save Sunday, where we are normalizing conversations around money and discovering how we can use the power of talking about it to grow from and support each other so that we can step into the life we've been envisioning. Before we get into today's conversation, I have some really exciting news to share with you. We have officially launched our Fierce Vision podcast. So if you're like me and prefer to consume content while you're working out or driving or cleaning up, this is the space for you. I expand a little bit on what we discuss here on Sundays, and I also dive a little bit deeper into my personal journey and some other things along the way. And as Black women, we often are made to feel like we have to have this superhuman strength and show no signs of weakness and struggle. And on the podcast, I aim to kill that mindset by being vulnerable with you guys, sharing some back end pieces of my story and my journey as a financial coach, just some of the things that I kind of see in my practice. So please take a minute to find the Fierce Vision podcast and subscribe if you enjoy it. If you enjoy it, please comment and leave a review so that more people can find it. Hell, join the conversation. We'd like to talk to you too. So send a message to my team at podcast@Young, Rich, and Rooted, podcast@Young, Rich, Rooted. Or DM me if you have a topic you think I should unpack, or if you want to be a guest. Because I have professionals on the show, but I talk to everyday people on here too. So now that we've gotten the housekeeping out of the way, let me tell you what I am sipping on before I forget. I already spilled some of this. Jamila knows. I done spilled half of my drink all over my desk, and I'm a little hurt about it. So this is all I have left. Thank God I still got some. I'm drinking blackberry pineapple rum cocktail. And honey, it is divine, which is why I'm sad that I spilled so much of it. Okay. Now, you know, I'm not really good at giving recipes because I have a bad habit of not writing things down. And I am the queen of remixing because I'm probably missing a few ingredients, and today is no exception. I was missing some of the ingredients that the original recipe called for, but thankfully my ancestors tell me when to stop pouring, and I kind of can make it work. So there's no exception to this. If you want the remix for this, the recipe for the drink, though, you can check my IG @Young Rich Rooted. I've already posted it there. I can tell you what I substitute. What I remixed is they wanted like actual pineapple juice and rum, and I put pineapple rum in it because I had pineapple friends. So I like trying new things out. And you guys have a drink that you want me to try, please let me know. I like sipping. So grab your drinks. Tell me what you're drinking, as a matter of fact. I want to know. I want to know if y'all are sipping on something different. If you saw the recipe an hour ago and you already made it, that's fine. But if you're sipping on something different, I am going to bring back into the room Jamila, who, let me tell y'all about her. But first, before we even get into this, she was originally scheduled to be on the show 2 weeks ago, and she was full on pregnant. We moved her date up because she wasn't going to be due until I think like this week in September. And so we're like, okay, let's push you to the end of August. That way, we play it safe. We'll have the interview before you had the baby. And then she messages me like, I'm in labor. And my first thought is, why are you messaging me? You are in labor. That's how committed she is. She was so committed to doing this with us that even though she was in the middle of having a baby, she was still trying to figure out how she could do it. She legitimately was like, can I just jump on for like just for the segment and then jump back off? I was like, absolutely not. Like, please enjoy your newborn baby. Give her a couple of weeks. I'm sure that we can rearrange some things on the show to make, to make up for the last minute change in our schedule. But I really want you to enjoy your little bit baby. So she's not going to be sipping anything, alcohol. She's not going to sip on none of that with us, but because she's pumping. So, she'll probably be drinking water today or juice or something virgin today, but she is with us today and I'm really excited to have her on here. Want to share you a little bit about what the topic is going to be and why I invited her to this podcast. Because I've known Jamila for quite a long time and she is straight no chaser. Like, she's going to give it to you raw. Like, it is what it is. And I feel like this is one of those conversations where people need to hear the truth when it comes to listening. I titled this, I think I retitled this, Don't Be That Friend, because a lot of times as friends, our friends will come to us to have a heavy conversation with us and they really need to talk to us significant. I don't know if you caught last week's episode, but we started talking about crisis mode. But a lot of times we're dealing with some really heavy issues and we need to talk about it to somebody because we're feeling lonely. We feel like we're the only person going through things. The reality is we're really not, but we're not sharing them with people. So we're not being vulnerable. We're not talking to our friends. And while one of the issues is our resistance to being vulnerable and, society making Black women in particular feel like we got to be strong all the time. But the other issue is we have attempted to share with our friends in the past and we felt like we weren't being heard. We felt like they weren't really listening. And I don't think that it is really most people's intention to be a bad listener. I think we mean well when we're, talking to our friends. I know I personally am one of those people who have had to learn a little bit about how to listen more intently as a personal financial coach. My job is more listening than talking because everybody, you could have a debt issue and the reason why you're in debt be completely different than the reason why someone else is. For some person, it could just be divorce. And for someone else, it could be a mindset issue. And if you're not willing to kind of fully hear out what's going on, you can miss a lot. And the same can happen in your conversation. A lot of times, we get into these conversations with our friends and we are so eager to I would say relate, to say, like me too. And you can kind of make the person feel like what they have to say isn't important. And so I really want people to feel more comfortable sharing and talking to their friends, talking to their loved ones when they feel away so that they're not dealing with their crisis alone. But for them to do that, we have to learn to be better listeners, me included. And so I invited Jamila here today. So let me tell you a little bit about this. Jamila is a licensed mental health professional in the state of New Jersey. She has a plethora of services, offers a plethora of services to various populations. Her services include, but not are limited to, relationship problems, self-worth and confidence, anger management, anxiety, depression, finding identity, meaning, purpose in life, work-life balance, life transitions, communication, connection, motherhood, perfectionism, people pleasing, forgiveness of self, grief, identity, family origin issues, mindfulness, emotional wellness, sexuality. I mean, it will be easier for me to tell you what she doesn't cover than to tell you what she does cover. Her approach is unique, combination of the most well-researched, cutting-edge techniques, and it includes cognitive behavioral therapy, mindfulness, positive psychology, spiritual affirmations. Her methods are never based on cookie cutter because they are tailored to each individual so that there is no one size fits all approach. She understands that there is no one size fits all approach. And her sessions are high quality. They are deeply impactful counseling that is completely confidential and allows you to find your best version of yourself. Most importantly, she is my friend. And I always like to highlight that when I have a guest who is a professional on the show, because while it is important to me that, I'm talking to someone who can add value to this conversation, I always want to make sure I'm coming from a relatable perspective. I always want this to feel like a safe space where we're talking amongst friends. And I hope that these conversations inspire you to talk to your friends and your family and your mental health professional. And I hope it inspires you to talk to us live on the stream. So if you have comments, if you have questions, if something resonates with you, if you've been there, if you've been that person on one end or the other, please feel free to share with us so that you can join the conversation with us today. So please show your love and welcome my beautiful friend, Jamila James, to the show. Hey, Jamila.
Hello.
How are you?
I am wonderful. I want to first say that my name is not Jamila. My name is Jamilia. And you've known me forever and have always gotten it wrong. So let me do it live and say that's not my name.
Let me tell you, my social media manager, shout out to Soche, she is my social media manager. She told me a week ago, please get your friend's name right on the
So don't mess it up. And she messed it up, Soche. What's her name? Soche?
Soche. Soche is her name, but her social media management business is Soche. And so she does my social media for me. And she was like, please don't mess it up. And I was like, I always knew I was spelling it wrong. Like I knew I was spelling it wrong.
Saying it wrong too. Just jacked it up.
And all week I've been saying it right in my head. And then here we go. And I reverted to old thing. But you know why though? Because when we were in school growing up, I feel like I always heard people call you Jamila. So I didn't know
and they were wrong. And I always corrected them. You know, that's one thing I always did was correct somebody when they said my name wrong. Always.
I'm so sorry. Jamilia, guys. It's
How are you?
There.
Everything is there for you. It's all right. It's all right. We're amongst friends right now.
I wasn't listening. I wasn't actively listening when we were growing up. I wasn't hearing you correct people.
But I wrote it to you, so that makes it even worse.
You did. You did. You corrected me just a week ago. It was like, hey, you spelled my name wrong, which I knew. I knew I was missing an I somewhere, but I never knew it was pronounced Jamilia until you said it. I was like, oh, okay, I need to fix this. I've been calling you Jamila for, how old are we now? I'm 36, so I've known you like 6 years old, 7 years old. Mm-hmm. So it's been almost 30 years of me calling you Jamila. So give me a pass. Yep. It's only been about 7 days of me knowing that I'm saying it wrong. Hey, it's Tanisha. Hey, Patrice. Hey, Shane. Hey, Tika. Welcome to the feed. How are y'all doing? Y'all witnessed this catastrophe that is me.
Tanisha probably laughing because Tanisha's like, yeah, she definitely always correcting somebody with her name.
Yes, because Tanisha went to school with us growing up too, so she knows.
Yep, so she definitely knows. Definitely. If anybody knew my name. Huh?
Was she in class with us growing up too? I know we all went to the same school. I don't think we were in class together though.
No, I don't think so. But she also is family to somebody else that I know.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So we know each other through that way too. But yeah.
I'm grateful. Like I said earlier, I'm so grateful for social media because it allows us to stay connected to, friends, reconnect with friends that we've kind of lost track of. I know that if social media wasn't here, I don't know how I would reconnect with you. Living all the way down here in Virginia Beach now, since I don't come home as often as I used to. So I'm so glad that I got to reconnect with you and my other friends who are up on here. Tanisha said she used to mess it up too.
I know, I saw it. And y'all know I was real mean back then, so I probably would be like, I ain't even answering you. I'm nicer now. Much nicer.
You
For the
hear you
most
don't
part,
believe yourself. I saw
convicting
your post
myself.
yesterday about checking in with your friends. You was like, but not me though. I was like, Jamila still ain't changed.
Yeah, see, but it fit with today's topic, so that was perfect. It worked out perfectly. So
It really did.
yeah,
Shantae. Okay, so I'm gonna jump right into it. As we just demonstrated, we all think we're really good listeners. And I know I have told someone who swore that they heard me. Like, you're hearing the words that are coming out of my mouth, but you're not really listening to me, to kind of express that I don't feel heard. You know what I mean? Even though they're listening to words that I don't feel like you're heard. So I want to know, this being the exception, what stops us from being good listeners usually? Like, and what does good listening really look like?
I would say that your ego, basically us, we stop ourselves from being good listeners. It's always a sense where we come into conversations wanting to get our point across, or, as opposed to actually listening to what the other person is saying to us. So in most instances, it's basically us not really wanting to listen because we're listening enough just so that we can react, and we'll only get bits and pieces of whatever that person is trying to communicate just so that we can react. And understanding, basically, in order for you to be a good listening, looks like if you're actually understanding what the person is trying to say to you, as opposed to, like I said, just trying to react. Just sometimes you just have to be completely quiet, let them finish everything that they're saying, and process what it is that the person just said to you.
That's good, especially the last part, because I feel like you said, I've found myself listening to try to speed up processing. Like, I'm trying to predict what the other person's about to say, so that there are no awkward pauses. But sometimes you do need a minute, like, to not even respond immediately. Like, maybe they're done talking, but you need to really marinate on it. Like, really take a moment to really kind of sit with it. Because sometimes someone has said something and it could be the communication could be an issue with, them not saying it in the way that they meant it, or maybe it's just there's multiple ways to take some information and you're jumping to one conclusion about what they mean about that. When if you take a little bit of time to really kind of sit with it, you could see multiple perspectives of where they might be coming from or what they're really trying to say, and not kind of jump to conclusions and assume intention. And that way, when you do respond, you're responding, more intelligently. That's something that I've had to learn as a coach, is, to really digest it, to really kind of feel them out and allow them to kind of like get into it. So tell me, what does good listening really look like? Like, how do I know, as a listener, because I know I've been like that person where I'm not really sure if they're listening. Like, are they you know what I mean? Like, how you can just see the physical cues. Like, I don't really feel like they're listening to me.
They look low. They look lost. I mean, in the same, so it's different for everybody. It's going to depend on where, like, just like how you said previously, where somebody, you're listening, you have to comprehend and you have to interpret it. It's not up for you to interpret what the other person is saying. They're either saying it clearly or they're not, and a lot of times is people can't communicate effectively. So that's what the issue is. So if I can't tell you what's wrong with me or what's wrong with whatever it is that you're doing, how can I expect you to understand what I'm saying to you? So basically it just takes for you to actually take your time, not think of it like, oh, this person is trying to, or I should be defensive by what they're saying. Like, especially if you're in the heat of an argument, or if you think it's an argument. A lot of times we think that somebody is getting hostile when they're really not. And it's just a matter of you taking a step back and getting out of your feelings and being able to be like, okay, look, what they just said to me make absolute sense. A lot of times people don't like to hear the truth. So that's the biggest issue that we all have, is when you're telling me the truth and it's like, I don't want to hear it, especially when I already think I'm right about something and I'm trying to communicate with you, then that's the best way to be a good listener. That's how it would look. Like, if you actually sit there and allow the person to say whatever it is that they're saying, you marinate on it, like you said, and then you respond. Like, you have to you have to pace out any type of communication with someone, because if you don't, then you're going to get lost in the conversation. You're going to get in your feelings, or the other person is just going to be like, listen, she's not even listening. So what's the point of me holding conversations with her at all? And the same thing for you. If you're not able to articulate what you want or what you're trying to say to that person, then they're going to continue to either not listen because they're going to tune you out. I'm going to be honest. I'm really good at tuning people out. I do it all the time. And it's not, most of the time I don't want to hear what they're trying to say. But then sometimes it's like, all right, I've told you already, like, you know what you need to do in order to fix this. And you continue to do the same thing over and over wrong. So I don't want to hear it anymore. Stop telling me your problems, you know? So you can basically gauge how it's going to look by how you interpreted it. If you interpreted the same way the person was trying to relay it to you, if that makes sense.
No, that makes really good sense. I'm marinating on something you said a little bit earlier about kind of rushing to offense, you know, like, you know, you getting upset about something that I found to be helpful for me personally is whenever somebody says something or does something that I might want to, the instinct is to respond like an offense. I have to really pause and say to myself what I know about this person. Like, do I know that, like, are they the type of person to be malicious? Are they the type of person to go out of their way to be hurtful? And so when I ask myself that question, if the answer to those are no, then it could be that it's not even intentional. They may not realize how they're coming across. They could just be emotional. Maybe they went through something earlier today and they're just not able to communicate in a way that, you know what I mean? Like, taking all those things into consideration. It doesn't mean that you have to tolerate, you know, somebody coming at you crazy, but it does allow you to not be offended as often. And that's more for, like, I do that for me, because if I wasn't taking the time to consider the character of the person, I would find myself offended all the time. And I'm the one dealing with that offense. You know what I mean? Instead of them, like, they don't know that I'm mad, that I'm over here feeling away. Like, I'm feeling away. So I can cure a lot of my internal frustration, wondering if this person really cares about me, were they really listening, you know, if I really take the time to consider the person, like, you know, maybe they weren't being the most attentive listener that day, but usually they are. Like, maybe they were going through something, maybe I missed something, you know what I mean, that they were going through. And I think, you know, just giving yourself a beat is, you know, less is more. Like, you really can do yourself and somebody else a huge favor. So I'm sitting here like, yeah, that's big. That pause, that pause is powerful.
It is. Like, even when I was in school, like, when you're in school to be a counselor, like, we have to sit through silence. Like, when I did my internship, my professor literally sat there and looked me dead, and she would not, I had to practice silence, and I couldn't laugh. I couldn't do anything, just because it's like, she would say something to me and then I could say absolutely nothing for a full minute. And she's like, I'm like, well, what's the purpose of that? And then it's like, all right, if I resonate on what it is that she's saying to me, not only do I give somebody else the opportunity to, you know, if they want to say more, they can, and it's not being forced. But in the same token, it's like, all right, then I can marinate and actually provide somebody with some guidance for whatever it is that they have an issue with. So silence is golden. You think that it's for somebody else, but it's the truth.
Okay, so I kind of when I was thinking about this topic earlier in the week, I was thinking about, you know, one of the habits of a poor listener. And I am still struggle sometimes being a major offender in this area. And that is injecting yourself into their moment. I know that most people, when they do this, is because they're trying, you know, I don't think that people are usually trying to one up somebody, but most people are just trying to, like, connect and say, like, me too, like, I went through that too. But if you're not careful, you know, and don't redirect the attention back to them and their story, it can make somebody feel like you don't care about what they're trying to say. And so I want to know, like, how can we connect with someone and let them know that they're not alone without doing that? Like, you know, you want them to know, like, no one wants to feel like they're the only person who went through something in life. So I feel like most people, when they do it, they're just trying to share, like, man, I've been through that too. I've been through divorce. I've been through whatever it is that you're kind of going through before, without pulling the attention away and allowing them to have their moment to share. That this isn't like a back and forth dialogue. Like, they need to get their story out today. How do you do that in a way that still allows you to connect with them?
In the bluntest way possible, just shutting up. That's it. I mean, you know, most times somebody comes to you with their particular issue because they know you've already been through this in the past. So they know that they have some type of, they feel as though they have some type of connection with you. So that's why they're coming to you. And not to say because they want you to tell them what you went through, but more so they figure, all right, she can relate with me. She can talk to me. I can talk to her without feeling like I'm being judged or anything of that nature. But in the same token, they just want you to listen, especially if they're going through something, and just giving them the opportunity to actually get it out, whatever it is, their thought, their issue, their sentence is the best thing in order to, let them know that they're not alone.
Mm.
You got to be quiet, Betty. You just got to be quiet.
I'm sitting here like, I know, what I hadn't really considered is that they know, even if you had told them. I'm wondering if they even instinctively know you might have gone through it, or even if you haven't gone through it, that you are an empathic person and can hear their story without judgment. I hadn't really thought about that, why people choose you to share their story with in the first place, to share, what they're talking with. I was yesterday standing outside and my neighbor, random, and I'm not a super social person. Like I wouldn't know my neighbors if my dog hadn't gone missing. True story. I know them all now. They all speak to me, and it's weird because I'm not one of those people who like to talk to people. But now I feel like it's awkward if I'm rude because they all help me find my dog. So now I'm talking to all my neighbors every day. But one of my neighbors was just sharing with me yesterday about, him growing up in foster care and what that experience was like for him. And midway through, I was thinking to myself, I'm just curious, what about me makes people, there are a lot of people who just kind of like really open up about stuff that you can tell like that you would think that they would choose someone else to talk to. Like, you don't really know me well. What about it makes you feel safe sharing this conversation with me? And I do like being, people's ear and people's person. And I never really thought about what it about me I'm giving off that makes people feel like it's okay. Because I didn't grow up in foster care, so I don't really personally understand, his experience and his journey, but just to feel comfortable sharing some of the traumatic experience, especially for men, to be able to talk about some of those experiences, it just kind of gave me pause. And so that's a little nugget I want to kind of like sit with, is just, sometimes people instinctively just know. They know that you're somebody they feel they can feel safe talking to.
He may see you.
I'm sorry.
I said he may see you, like you're a young Black mother. He sees that you may be in terms of, it's you and your daughter. So he may see how you go in, how you nurture her, how you do things with her, and may feel as though he felt comfortable. And that's just all it takes, is comfortability. As long as somebody feels comfortable and feels like they can give you safe information, and it could simply be just by him watching how you interact with your child.
I'm lingering on that word, that safety. Which is so important when you're trying to decide like who you can be vulnerable with, who you can share. Do you trust the person to not tell your secrets or not judge you or to not make you feel bad? It is very hard to, to pull that guard down when you choose to share with somebody. It's because, you do feel kind of safe. While your kids feel comfortable talking to you about certain topics, is because you make them feel safe. And then if they're not sharing things with you, there is a question of, have I done something? Have I said something to make them feel like it's not okay for them to talk to me about certain things? And when I think about that, I think about kind of like awkward conversations, having with your parents growing up, like talking to your parents about sex or about relationships or boys, because at that age you're not supposed to be dating in the first place, and so there's this imaginary barrier that you're afraid of the judgment or them being upset that you're even having these thoughts, and so you don't share it. That conversation is no longer safe for them to kind of like talk to you about. And just it's just really got me thinking about that barrier of safety, or how we can create an environment of safety, how we can kind of show more that it's okay. I don't know what are your thoughts about that?
I think that in terms of, especially when it comes to our kids, there shouldn't be anything that we shouldn't be able to speak to our children about. I mean, in certain aspects, certain ways we should speak to them. Like, of course, when it comes to sex, I mean, I'm not going to speak to if my daughter was still 8 years old asking me about sex because she saw something on, I'm going to let her know, like, that's not appropriate right now, but it's a conversation that we may have later. But in the same token, it's like, there shouldn't be any barriers. Like I tell my daughter, and I know my sister is a fool. I don't even want to tell you what my sister tells my niece, but I tell my daughter that, even if I told you not to go somewhere and you went, you always call me because I'll always come and get you. Like, I don't care what I'm going to curse you out in the car, but I'm always going to come for you. You know what I mean? Like, so it doesn't matter if she's doing something wrong after we just had a conversation about it. We're going to talk about it, but I don't ever want her to feel like she can't come to me for anything or everything. Like, I want her to be able, like the other day, she came to me about shaving. She's like, Mommy, can you show me how to shave? And I'm looking at her like, shave what? Like, what you trying to shave? But it's like, I want to make sure I have that relation. And even if it's not with me, even if my daughter has that relationship with my sister or, her godmother, I'm fine with that because of the fact that at least she's able to talk to somebody about everything and anything. I never want it to be where we have that barrier where she feels as though, oh, if we're talking about sex and I'm too young, or sex came up and I'm too young, because it may have come up in school. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to. And kids are vulnerable. They have access to everything right now, especially on the internet. So you can put in the word sausage on Google and some stuff pop up. So it's
and meanwhile, she was just trying to look up recipes.
Exactly. So it's not intentional. And then she looking at me like, Mommy, well, what's this? And I'm like, oh, Lord, girl, don't ever write sausage in there again. You know what I mean? But it's just a matter like you don't want barriers. You want your children or even your friend. If you have friends, anybody, you want them you want them to be able to come to you with anything. Like I know, for instance, like I said, my one of my best friends will tell you in a minute, like Jay, she's like, I didn't need to know that. And I'm like, well, if I can't tell you everything, then what's the point? You know what I mean? Like, why are you here? Like she'd be like, I didn't need to know that. I'm like, yeah, you did. It is. I didn't feel I should have to keep it in. You know what I mean? Exactly. She'd be like, oh, like I didn't need to know that. I'm like, yes, you did. So it's just more so making sure we shouldn't have barriers. We should have things that, all right, that's not a conversation for right now. And we can put it off for a little bit later, unless your child presses, because, kids are nosy. They want to know things, and not even say nosy, but they're inquisitive. They want to know things. And it's only because they saw it somewhere. It may not even have been a conversation that they had with you, but I would much rather the information comes from me so that I can educate her properly, as opposed to her looking on the internet and it's like 15 different sites that have 15 different answers,
Right.
So
I just had to give you a Jada Pinkett that part because
that's right.
I've had people ask me, like, when I've had like heavy conversations with my daughter before, and they're like, you've had that conversation with your daughter before. Jordan's even asked me, actually, like, did you have this, talk to your mom about stuff like this? And I was like, no, not really.
No.
And I've had this rule forever that if she's mature enough to ask me the question, she's mature enough for the answer, because she's already curious about it. So, when her dad and I separated and, she had questions about those things, those are heavy conversations to have, the things that are going on in your household that they're witnessing, that just because you're not talking about it doesn't mean they're not processing that information. It's like you want to check in with your kids to make sure that they understand what's going on, and you're checking in with, their feelings. But like you said, sometimes they simply are not going to feel comfortable talking to you about it, and just kind of creating other people that's like, hey, if you don't ever feel comfortable talking to me, here's some people. I want you to talk to somebody. I don't ever want you to be feeling like you got to deal with or process or whatever it is alone. I shared last week with Dr. Patrice Berry, who was on the live with me last week, that one of the things me and my daughter started doing was writing to each other back and forth, because I realized that sometimes she's intimidated to tell me to my face what she feels and what she thinks. But on paper, she'll share that. She'll tell me, I'm mad at you. Like, this bothered me. This hurt my feelings. And, that's good for me to, like you said, because then I have to fully listen. I can't interject. I can't interpret her emotions. I just have to read the letter and then respond. You know what I mean? And so just kind of creating those safe spaces for people to have those conversations with you and let them know that it's okay to share it all. Is important. What are your Stacy said, people don't really want advice. They want a sounding board to vent to frustration, which brings up what I was going to say. The next piece is that, gosh, we are so tempted. Like, you know, on the one end, sometimes we're injecting our scenario into it. But on the other end, and this one is one I really, really struggle with, because I am an A-type personality, analytical problem solver. I'm one of those people who, wants to, like, if you see a box broken apart, I'm mentally figuring out how to assemble it. Yeah. And so when people tell me things, for a long time, I just felt like, you're coming to me because you want help. And the reality is, like, they did want help, but what they wanted was just an ear. They didn't want me to actually solve their problem. They just wanted me to answer. Now, sometimes they do, but the reality is they didn't invite me yet to give my opinion or to give my advice. And, I know I have been on the other end of that, where I'm like, I don't want you to tell me, like, I know how to solve this problem in real life. I'm having an emotional, mental thing that I'm dealing with, but practically speaking, I know what steps I need to take. I just really just need to feel heard. You know what I mean? How do you politely, I don't even know if it should be polite.
Probably wouldn't be.
Let me ask you for your help. I want to talk to you. Like, you still want to continue the conversation, but they're trying to solve your problem, and that's not what you asked for today. Or, how do you know? Well, obviously the knowing is not asking, they didn't invite you, but how do you communicate that to somebody who is well-intentioned? Like, they're not, they really mean well. They're seeing like a disaster happen, and they're volunteering information that you're not asking for in this season yet. Like, how do you address that?
I mean, I'm gonna be, like I said, being completely honest. Sometimes you just have to shut that portion down. Like, it's not a matter of, and simply, you don't have to be nasty about it. You can simply say, well, I just want you to listen, as opposed to having somebody give you unsolicited advice. Or sometimes you just be like, I didn't ask you that. That's how I'm coming, like, I didn't ask you for your And I know people might be like, oh, that's super rude. It's not rude if you know me. That's how, if I be like, oh, well, I didn't really want, they're going to be like, what's wrong with you, Jay? Like, you okay? Are you okay? Like, because it just doesn't seem right. But sometimes you just have to let the person know, like, listen, I just need you to listen for a minute. Like, I'll figure it out. Or if they ask you, once they realize what it is, or once they actually get it out, you let them say whatever it is they needed to say, then they may ask you, like, what do you think I should do? And that's when you can be the problem solver that you think you need to be. And it's not so much you're solving their problems, because it's not your problem to solve. You have to allow them, and you have to provide the person with, the tools in order to solve their own problems, just in case it happens again. And people will continue to go through things, and it will happen at different points in their life. And if you continue to solve the problem for them, then they're going to continue to come back to you and looking for you to solve whatever the issue is that they have. So sometimes you just have to relax, and allow them to say what it is that they need to say. Or if it's you that needs to say something to somebody else, you just simply say to the person, listen, all I need you to do is listen. I don't need, nothing else. And if I need you later, I'll give you a call back, or I'll let you know then.
What's so funny is I'm thinking, like, as a financial coach, a lot of times, especially, and I'm sure you probably experienced this being a therapist, like, the right order that something should be done, like, on paper, right? And you want to be able to say, like, you really should take this step first and this step first. But one thing I've learned from being a coach is you have to let that person guide what they need fixed first. Not to say that you can't inject and say, hey, here's some information to help them make a better decision, but really being able to guide that conversation and say, because sometimes while this might be sabotaging them terribly, this one might be causing a lot more emotional torment for them. Yeah. And even though this is a very small issue that could be addressed later, it might be the most important issue. And if you're not taking that time to really listen, you could be solving the wrong problem. Like, we want to inject ourselves to solve a problem, and that's not even the problem that they want fixed most. And I'm sure the same happens with our friends is, they come to us with an issue and it's loaded. There's really like a few things in there that really can be addressed. And if you don't wait for them to invite you to what they want help with, then you're going to give advice to the problem that's not that pressing to them. Like it's not killing their, you know what I mean? It's not what's causing them the stress and anxiety that's making them feel alone and depressed and whatever it is that they're dealing with in that season. And so just being willing to just trust them, like you said, giving them the tools that they need. I mean, as a financial coach, if I just told you what to do and did it every time, like actually solve the problem, then you don't feel equipped and empowered with the skills that you need to be successful. Like I'm present to help teach you, to help encourage you, to help motivate you. But at some point, I you know what I mean, I have to step away to allow you to be able to do it, to use the skills that I'm showing you yourself, so that you feel confident, you feel more comfortable in your ability to make decisions, especially if you come from a situation where you didn't trust yourself with those decision makings before. Like you constantly were making this mistake, and if you don't know for yourself that you're good at being able to solve that problem, then you're not going to pursue it. Same thing with your friendships. If they feel like the only way they can solve the problem is coming to you, if you're not there for them one day, then you've paralyzed them, enabled them, and they're stuck because Jamila can answer the phone because Jamila's in labor and she just sorry, I did it again.
I was gonna give you the finger, like, all right now.
Y'all, if y'all just joined on, then you missed the beginning of this conversation with me jacking up Jamila's name because I keep calling her Jamila. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I did it again, but I've lost my whole train of thought on that note. I felt it. I felt the vibes. Like I'm doing it again. I'm still calling
my finger was coming. It was like this. Like, all right now. All right.
Yeah, like Dr. Barry is saying in the comments, that codependency. You're creating an environment for codependency if you don't give them an opportunity to solve, to brainstorm almost. Like sometimes like you feel like you got to give out the answers, but really you just need to kind of like talk them through coming up with the like answers for themselves. Like, well, what would you do? Like, what are you thinking that you'll do? Like they want to talk more.
Who's to say also that you have the right answers for whatever it is that their issue is? So then, you in order to avoid resentment in the same token, it's like, but you told me to do this. And you're like, no, that's not what I told you to do, and it was like, well, I did what you told me, as opposed to if you allow them to arrive at the answers on their own. And if they mess it up, or if it didn't work out for them, then at least you can say like, they independently arrived at whatever, their issue is or what their problem is, so that it wouldn't fall back on you, because people do get resentful. It's like, well, you told me to leave them. And I'm like, but that's really not what I said to you,
Yes,
the conversation was not that. Yeah. And believe me, they will get mad.
No, you're right. Like whole relationships could be ended just because you give the best advice. So sometimes while you have well intentioned, like you could be creating more damage than
absolutely
good in the process. Man, that's something I hadn't really, but I easily see. I can, especially in my profession, like, I always say at the end of the day, you have to make this decision for yourself.
Sure.
I can tell you some things that make sense to me. And but you have to do what works for you. I can tell you what I think would be the outcome with this decision, but you got to be comfortable with the decision because it's your choice, it's your situation. And I think sometimes maybe another of the issues that we have when we're talking to our friends is they're not even saying it with like, you have a choice. They're just saying, do this. They're not saying, here's some thoughts. They're not just sharing some options with you. They're telling you matter of factly what you should be doing with your life. And nobody wants to be,
totally what to do with their own life. You're right. Especially when they're adult. Like, I'm grown. That's the first thing one of my clients, especially one of my teenagers, like, I'm grown. Like, girl, you are not. You are 14. You gonna tell me you grown? Like, you running away from home and coming back. If you running away, how you coming back? And then you gonna tell me that you're grown? Like, stop it. So it's and they're like, but Miss J, I'm like, what? Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything for you. Like, no, girl, relax. You got a long way to go. I tell people all the time, like, it's not fun being grown. You have to pay bills. You have to do all these things. So I'm like, it's not fun at all. Like, relax. Take your time.
Your sister said, you trying to tell my
pain in my butt. Ignore her. Yes, I saw it. I ignore her. Okay. I ignored
I
her. You
love
have to
y'all.
ignore her. She's not on here. Okay. It's not her time.
I growing up, like if I didn't know y'all, I'd be like, man, they really just God,
Going
there's so
at it,
much
right?
attention. But y'all been this way from elementary school. Like it's so entertaining to me. I mean, like y'all be harsh. Y'all don't be throwing no straights,
Listen,
no chase
I
to
gotta
everybody.
get her before she gets me, and that's how it's gonna work. Okay. That's how it works. I'm sorry. I'm
I
sorry.
love that though. If anybody you can be that, I don't know, unfiltered with, it's probably somebody you can have those conversations with though. Like
True. True. Absolutely true. Like what she done said something again. I can guarantee. Look, now she's telling me to be nice. See?
wait, but also
She made that was for you, Betty, just to let you know. That was for you. You see, she's super shady. And you talk about me. This is what I mean. This is what I mean. Like super
shade
shady.
is not just reserved for you.
Yeah, she shared it. You see how she was like, we split screen, I'm gonna share the shade. It's all right, all right, all right, no problem.
I love
Mm-mm-mm.
it. I love it. Keep me straight because I have a feeling I'm gonna mess it up at least 2 more times before we get off of this call. I'm gonna avoid just saying the name altogether.
All right, all right. I know you talk to hey you. I know you talking to me. I'm the only other one on the screen, so I know you talking to me. No problem. I
That's
won't
why
be
with my
offended. I promise.
students, I'm really, really bad with names. Like I'm really good with faces. I know my student situations. I recognize handwriting and will recall like their whole scenario just from the way I wrote their name on a piece of paper. But I cannot keep names for my life. So all my students, they all just think I'm so sweet, but really I just don't know their names. I'm like, hey, sweetie. Hey, hi. Hey, baby. How you doing? All of them. Hey,
Yeah,
sweetie. Nobody got names. Hey, and if
yeah,
I know your name, it's a one or two reasons. Either I really, really adore you, we probably interact a lot and I enjoy you, or
you annoy me. Yeah,
you was a problem from day one.
yeah. So I know exactly who you are. Believe me.
Right. I know your voice. I know your phone number on a caller ID. I know all of that.
Everything.
So to be fair, I'm generally not good with names. I wanted to ask you something else.
Yes.
How I'm trying to think. You know, like sometimes I know for me, like I said before, I tend to be somebody that people can share with a lot. And I
Mhm.
have had to learn in this season more recently that I have to learn how to set boundaries on what I can intake. And not because I don't want to be present for people, because, you know, sometimes people don't know you're dealing with stuff too. Like you have your own
Absolutely.
stuff going on and you're constantly, like I would say, like I have had times where a friend would call me. Before they called, I was like ugly crying, like boohoo
Mhm.
crying. I was having a really bad day. Something terrible just happened. But I could hear from my friends, hello, that
Mhm.
something was wrong with
Yeah.
them. And I will immediately shut that off. What I'm
Mhm.
feeling, gone. Because I don't want them to hear that I'm feeling away because then they won't feel like sharing what they have going on. You know, they'll be concerned for me. And I
Mhm.
have a feeling that what they need is, I don't want to say more important, but maybe more urgent, more,
At this point in
I
time.
don't know,
Yeah.
at the
Mhm.
time. And so I've done that a lot, but I was doing that almost to a point where it was putting my own mental health, my own peace in jeopardy because I was pouring on an empty cup. I was completely empty. You know what I mean? I wasn't allowing on the one hand, people couldn't tell that anything was ever wrong with me because I was really good at being the strong friend. Like like you
Mhm.
said, they could call and I was ugly crying and they couldn't even hear it, like shut
Mhm.
completely off. So on the one hand, people didn't know, but on the other hand, I
Mhm.
also wasn't voluntary. I understood how much of a burden it was to take on people's stuff. And so I would consciously not offload what I was dealing with anybody because I didn't want to add a burden to someone. I feel like, you know, they probably have something going on, so I'm not going to share that with them. And that wasn't healthy in itself. But for me, I had to learn to like stop also, just
Mhm.
stop taking in new stuff because I can't deal with that today. And, you know what
Mhm.
I mean? But you feel bad, like in the moment. You know, I remember in some of those early days, it was really hard for me to say like, hey, I need to call you back, or I really can't, I can't do this today. because I didn't want them to feel like I wasn't there for them. I didn't want them to feel like, like how do you do that? How do you become good with it? And then how do you do that? How do you communicate that to the friend that I can't do this today? It's not personal. Like I really can't.
But my question to you before I even answer that one is, well, when do you find your release? If you are constantly giving, and that's usually how it is, especially even with when you're in the human service field, where you're in a helping field, where it's constantly you're constantly the person that's helping, but you never have your release. How can you continue to help someone else if you're not getting your release? Is my question for you before I answer yours. Because you have to realize that, you can only take on but so much. You're not going to be helpful to that next person if you're constantly feeling like, oh my God, every time she calls me, she wants something, or she's always going through something, or she's always, having an issue with something, as opposed to where, it's like, well, when do I get a chance to let you know that I have an issue? Like, we all go through things, and it's always those that they're like, oh, well, she can handle it. Yeah, she can handle it, but sometimes she doesn't need to. Like, I just don't want to hear it. Like I tell my people, no, everybody knows, if I'm at work, my hours are from 9 to 5. So if you have any work related questions, you ask me from 9 to 5. And if it's after 5 o'clock, I'm not answering you. My mother-in-law knows, my sister knows. Like, she's like, come on, Jay. I'm like, listen, like 9 to 5 is my hours. And now I ain't at work. I don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of, in order for me to preserve my own mental health, it's like, all right, look, of course I'm knowledgeable about a lot of things, but in the same token, it's like, when I leave work, I have family, I have a home, I have things that I have to take care of, and I don't want to be thinking about work. So I don't want you to constantly come to me with something work related when I'm home. Like, I'm home now. It's personal time. It's no longer professional time. Like, even when I get off here, when I'm ready to drop them F-bombs, I drop them, It's just a matter of, you have to be able to preserve your own mental health. You can't always give without receiving. Like, it's not going to work. It's not, because you're going to feel strung out after a while. You're going to feel burnt out after a while. And it's going to be like, well, I just keep giving to these people and they're not supportive of me. So what was the question that you asked me one more time?
Just like, how do you communicate that to somebody? And, how do you make peace with the fact that you're going to have to turn a friend down? Like,
you have to learn to say no. I tell people I've learned to say no so many different ways. I can say no so many ways now, and I always couldn't. It wasn't something that I was always able to do, but you have to learn, like, I have to put myself first sometimes. Like, you're somebody's mother, you know what I mean? So if you're all drained and overly, like, because you have so much, everybody else's issues on your back, then how can you be productive for her? You have to put your child first too. As a mother, we put our kids before we do anything else. Like, we will buy our kids $50, $60 sneakers and then turn around and be like, oh, I don't need them socks. That's $2. Like, I don't need them. You know what I mean? We do stuff like that. So that's where you have to put that mindset in. It's like, listen, are those people going to be those $2 socks? Like, do I really need that? No, I don't. And if they can't understand, boundaries is absolutely, I see Tanisha said boundaries is a real thing. It is. You absolutely have to set boundaries with other people, because people don't respect your space. They won't. And as long as you continue to allow them in, they're going to continue to take advantage. So you have to place boundaries on everybody and simply say, like, listen, or don't answer Betty, don't answer that phone.
Listen, let me tell you, I'm sitting here listening. Like, like I said, this was an area I really, really struggle with, an area that's so obvious that even my boss, when I was like maybe like a year into working, and he was like, Betty, you really have to start telling people no. Like, it would be stuff that's coming up. I'm already loaded. I already been working, 13-hour days, working 7 days a week. And, an email will come out with them asking to do something. My boss would peer over and was like, don't you reply to that email. Don't you say you can do it. Like, don't, I already know. And I was feeling, because in my head, I'm thinking like, oh, this person, they work so hard. I don't want them to be the only one, feeling the need to kind of take that on. But like, I realized, like, I have to learn how to say no, but that's an area I actively struggle with all the time. So one of those areas you asked me a few minutes ago about, like, when do I get to offload? It's something I had to realize is like, okay, if I don't feel like offloading things to my friend because I don't want to offload them, I need to at least have a therapist. So just investing into having a therapist was just so helpful, just to be able to, we would have sessions, and she wasn't saying anything in particular
Yeah.
back to me. It was
Mhm.
just me sharing how I was feeling and how healing that was to just be able to
Mhm.
just say what's going on me, how I feel. And like you said, I've also been in those scenarios where, you know, I've had one-sided friendships where I am on the receiving end of their stuff all the time, and I never get to say, I'm going through this today. Or, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I never get to feel like you said, when do I get to share with you what I'm going on today? Like, when do you ask
Mhm.
me how I'm feeling or what I'm doing? Or they
And they
outright
won't.
say, you know, well, you know, you're always good. Like, I've
Yeah,
had,
but I'm not.
my family, I had a friend tell me,
Yeah.
you know, you're always so strong. I just thought you would be okay. And it really was like, whoo.
Wow.
That was twofold. One, even if you thought I would be okay, just as my friend, I just feel
You should
like
have.
to check. And
Mhm.
two, I don't want to project that I don't want to project that image that I don't ever need someone to show up for me. And that's
Mhm.
partially my fault. If I'm putting out that, you know, that vibe that I'm always good, I need to let people know like I'm human too. And that was part of the reason why I wanted to have these conversations on here, is because I feel like as Black women, we are constantly held to this ridiculous standard of
Mhm.
strength. And, you know, we don't ever have weekdays. We don't ever have, you know, bad days. We don't ever make mistakes. And so we have to keep everything we're feeling on the inside instead of
Mhm.
letting people know, like, no, today I'm feeling emotional. Today I'm struggling
Mhm.
and I need a friend. Today I just want to cry. Can y'all
Yep.
just don't say nothing? Like, I don't even want to talk. I've had those,
Yeah.
like, where you just, you know, want to have somebody be present, physically
Yeah.
present. You know, I don't want to talk about anything. I just need somebody to be there. And so, yeah, you're so right. If like Tanisha said, you know, or maybe it was Katrina, like, you can't pour from an empty cup. Like, if
Yeah.
you're empty, you have nothing to give back. And I never really thought about it until you mentioned about, you know, how I'm now able to show up for my kid. But that's what was happening. I was taking on so much stuff at work and then still
Mhm.
taking on a whole bunch of stuff at home.
Mhm.
And a whole bunch of stuff was going on in my family at the time. And I was spent. Like, I was
Yeah.
spent. And I wasn't talking to anybody at that time. I wasn't going to therapy. I was just doing my best to kind of like juggle all the
Juggle
balls.
it. Mhm.
And I wasn't able to be present for her. You know what I mean? I missed probably so much of what she was dealing with, bullying, you know, and I just
Yeah.
realized, like you said, you know, part of me protecting my energy is not just about me. And if that's the reason, like, I was not giving it up, was because I thought it was me, like, for me. And, you know, we have the tendency to not want to be selfish, like, oh, you know, we're willing to sacrifice ourselves, but I'm not willing to sacrifice her. So just giving me that perspective. And
Absolutely.
sometimes setting boundaries is not about just for you. If you have a hard
Mhm.
time doing stuff for yourself, like, okay, you got a problem with self-care Sunday, well, then what about for your kids or for your marriage
Mhm.
or for whatever it is that you're needing your sanity for?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was good. Um,
Tanisha said, "Come save me."
huh?
Tanisha said, "Come save me like today. I'm strong, but come save me like today."
Yeah, right.
It's the truth. It's the truth. Because, you know, they think because, you know, especially with Black women, they're like, oh, well, she can do everything. Yes, I can. Yes, I will. But in the same token, it's like sometimes I need a break. Sometimes I just need for somebody to say, all right, Jay, like, do you want me to take my daughter? Do you want me to take her here? Like before, I mean, I was counseling. I was seeing, I had a caseload of up to like 18 kids. I'm still a professor. I still, and this is before the pandemic, she still had cheer. And when I tell you cheer is something that's intense, it's super intense. So, you know, she had cheer every day. You know, it was just a matter. And then I still had my full-time job. So that's 4 to 5 different things that I have. And we're talking about, I work with adolescents. So I'm constantly dealing with kids that have trauma. Like, you know, we think we deal with things, but then you have kids that absolutely have no way of figuring out how can they deal with somebody touching them, or, you know, being bullied at school because they're a little overweight or something like that. So it's like I'm dealing with that. I'm leaving work, going straight to one of my counseling sessions, then coming back, taking my daughter to chair, sitting in chair for 2 hours, and then coming back and she looks at me and says, well, mommy, I'm hungry. And I'm looking at her like, you serious? Like, you want me to feed you now after I just did all this stuff? And it's like, I can't be, you know, that person like, oh, eat some cereal, you know? But I'm like, all right. I know I still got to come home and still got to do it. Even though when you're in your professional role, you can do anything and everything. And people just see you as, oh, she was able to do all of these things. But what about her downtime? Does she have downtime? I mean, we only have 24 hours in a day, but in the same token, it's like, why should we have to be vulnerable in order for somebody to understand or somebody to notice that like something is wrong? Or, like for instance, I'll give you an example. It's funny. I had my son 2 weeks ago, right? And the other day, my mommy knows me. So my mommy knows both of us. So anytime she realizes something is wrong, I've been super emotional ever since even at my best friend's wedding, I was over there just crying up a storm, couldn't get my speech out, nothing. And they like, yo, you serious, Jay? I'm like, it's this baby. Like, I don't know what it is. It's this baby. I was like, it's this baby. Like, I don't know what he's doing to me. Like, it's this baby. I couldn't even get the damn speech out. I ended up having to send her, because I had wrote it. So I ended up sending it to her because I had to cut it short because I was crying the entire time. She came down the aisle, I'm crying. So, like I breastfeed, right? So what happened was, my boyfriend wanted to feed the baby because, for the first week that he had been home, it was just strictly me because he was on the breast. So, I pumped, put it in a bottle. The nipple was too big in terms of flow. So of course he sucked that bottle down. So now he no longer wants to latch. When I tell you I cried like a baby, like I boo-hooed, snot, everything, just crying. And my mother's like, and I'm sitting here crying. And my mother just so happened to call me. And it was like, she was asking me, so it was something random. Like it wasn't anything in particular that she was asking me. And, I'm crying, but it's not like I'm hard crying, but it's like just the tone of my voice. And she was like, what's wrong, Jay? And I'm like, nothing. And she was like, no, what's wrong, Jay? So, I started, then she makes it even worse because of course I'm boohoo crying more now because now my mommy knows that something is wrong with me and she's trying to, calm me down and my boyfriend's trying to calm me down. And even my daughter's like, mommy, you okay? And, at this point, if I'm really upset because I'm crying in front of my daughter, which never happens. You know what I mean? So now I can laugh about it because I'm like, oh, Lord, girl, you were over here crying like a fool. And it's just like, it's little things like that where, if I wasn't pregnant or if I didn't just have a baby, I would never have done, like those type of things I wouldn't have been super emotional in terms of, and my daughter would never see me cry. You know what I mean? Like if I gotta cry, she definitely wouldn't see it.
Isn't that like, in a way kind of liberating when, like, I know for me, the hard part is telling someone that something is wrong, or telling someone I need them. And like you said, for me, I need people in my life who just know me well enough to know when I need them to show up for me and don't ask me permission to show up. Like if when I need help around the house, or if I just need somebody to say I love you, or just do it because I'm never going to say, can you help me? I'm never going to communicate that. But when I talk to someone and they just know something's wrong, it's so freeing. It like you said, it makes me cry more because it's like, oh, it's so beautiful. And you see the inner me. And at the same time, to have someone see you so well that they know when something's wrong, when you're trying not to project that something's wrong. Yeah. When you're going out of your way to feel like I'm having a good day, and they're like, my sister-in-law is, so she's gonna kill me for saying that. My sister, she is really good about that. Like I could not talk to her for all week long. And on the one day I'm really having a day, she'll just text me out of nowhere. It'll be extra specific. It's not like, hey, I was just thinking about you. It'll be like, I was thinking about your job and how like, whoa. And that could be the thing that's bothering me. And I'll be like, this is kind of creepy. But you kind of like really need those people who you feel like, even if I try to not be vulnerable with you, you're not going to give me permission to do that, like your mom did. Like you wanted to be able to be like, oh, nothing's wrong, and your mom is like,
yeah, whatever.
No, I know. We're gonna talk about it. Like you need those people who gonna pull you out, and have the conversations, especially when you're extra strong and super stubborn, like both of us.
Exactly.
Tanisha said, even with the kids, which made me think about like how we listen to our children. Is that different? I know we kind of touched on children a little bit, but like, are the rules different, with children? Like the speed at which you give advice, are any of those things different than it is when you're, talking to your friend or your coworker?
They shouldn't be. They should be uniform across. Of course, there are certain instances, like I said earlier, where you wouldn't discuss certain things at certain times with your children. Yeah. Tanisha's hilarious. you know, at certain times where you wouldn't discuss things with your children. But I mean, conversation, it should be uniform across the board. But then also, like you said, with coworkers, it depends on the type of coworker it is. Like, you know, is that the coworker that, you know, you consider to be a friend who can come to your house? Because, you know, everybody don't come to my house. So if I have invited you to my home, then I think that you're more than just a coworker at this point. But if you're one of those coworkers who, you know, is just super needy, I limit my interactions with them. Like, I'd be like, you know, good morning. It's a good morning type of thing. And as for you trying to tell me all of your business, no, we're not doing that. Because first, I don't ever want it to be an instance where they can say, oh, well, you know, Jamelia said this to me, or Jamelia said that to me, and make it seem like, especially with the position that I have, most of the people that I work around are my subordinates. You know what I mean? So for me to say anything, I don't ever want it to come back to make it seem like I was being, you know, overly, you know, friendly, or overly, what's the word? I can't figure out the word for it, but I'm not giving them too much, or being favoritizing or anything of that nature, especially with the position that I'm in. I never wanted to make it seem like, you know, they can say like, oh, well, she's more into, I don't know how to say, I'm drawing a blank right now in terms of getting the person to say, you know, me not to seem, trying to figure out what I want to say.
Like kind of being too intimate where people feel like you
Exactly.
might show favoritism to one person over the other, have a more intimate relationship.
Yeah, I don't want them to think it's more than what it is. You know what I mean? So it's just like, all right, we limit certain, if you're my friend and we just so happen to work together, then, you know they can come into my office and speak. And, you know, most of the time, if I realize that it's something wrong, then we shut the door. My staff, they know. Like, I have an open door policy, and I tell them whatever happens in my office stays in my office. And my staff can tell me anything. I have no issue with them telling, because, you know, they need to vent. I want to be that support for them, not to say that I want to know their business, but I want to be able to support them in that sense, because, you know, how can I only think like I can separate the fact that, you know, we're at work, so I don't want to hear nothing about your personal life, when I know your personal life can spill over into work. But in the same token, we have a job to do.
Time at work.
Yeah, exactly. And especially because I know some of my staff have personal issues that they have. Like, I know they do, because they've said something about it before, or it's times where I can see where I've walked into the office and, you know, maybe, you know, you can tell somebody's eyes are a little more red than they should be. And it's not because they hide. It's because you can tell that they were crying. And it's like, all right, come into my office. You know what I mean? Even though I know, like, all right, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. I don't want to, but you know what? Obviously, if you came to work crying, I tell them all the time, like, we leave personal at the door. If we can, sometimes you can't. So that's when you have to bring them in. Like, all right, come in my office. Like, get yourself together. You know, you can sit in here as long as you need to. And then when you're ready, you go back, you know, and do whatever it is that you need to do, because we still have a job to do. But in the same token, I never want you to feel like you're unsupported. So that's
so important as a leader, is to be a good listener for your employees, because like you said,
absolutely,
you know, we spend so much of our life, we spend more of our waking hours with our colleagues than we probably do with our kids and our family, you know. And so, you know, a lot of times in jobs, they can make you feel like you're just a number, and that, you know, your life, you know, the totality of your life is not important. But, you know, just allowing your employees to feel heard, not just professionally, but personally, can probably improve your work environment. Just the commitment they have to doing the work that you're asking them to do, because they feel like you care. Not on an unprofessional level, like you said, just say you care enough to know that, you know, a death in their family might impact them differently. Like, hey, if you need to go home, and really sincerely not make them feel bad about it. Like, some people will be like, oh, if you're sick, don't come to work. But then when you're sick, then they like, oh, you sure you can't make it in? Like, you know, then they feel like, well, if that's how you respond to me being sick, I really can't share with you some other stuff.
Exactly,
I know how I'm feeling. You ain't really listening to me.
Right?
Yeah. So, you know, just kind of going back to like needing to set those boundaries and, you know, to protect your own mental health. How do you know, like, for somebody, like, now I feel like I know when I have to back. Oh, I think I lost her. Oh no, guys, we lost her. We're gonna get her back. She's back.
Yeah, I don't know what just happened.
I was like, I hope her
So,
phone didn't die.
no, it almost is. I'm literally putting it on a charger as we speak.
Okay, I was asking, how do you know when you're overloaded and you
Mhm.
really can't take on anymore? How do you know when you need to check out for your, like, how do you know, what are the signs? Because sometimes people don't know that they can't take on, like, they don't know that they're at a breaking point. How do you know
Mhm.
where when you kind of need to check out of being someone's ear, checking out in situation entirely for your own mental health? What are like those signs?
It's different for everybody, you know. Like I know for me, when I'm ready to check out, like I it's just like when someone in particular calls, and it's like, oh my God, I know exactly what they're gonna call me for. It's just like I can't even deal with this today, so I won't. It's like you cringe at the fact that you know that they're gonna want something from you, and you know how people drain you. People will drain everything in you. So it's just a matter of you having to realize, like, okay, if you feel awkward or if you feel like, all right, oh God, not this again. When somebody in particular you're speaking to, or they're calling you or something, that's how you know when you are it's time for you to check out. And in order for you to do that, you have to, like I said, you have to preserve your own peace. Sometimes, like I've done a lot of things in order to preserve my peace. Like if somebody is just being like, how you just have some negative people and it's just like, I can't even respond to that. I'm not even gonna respond to that, because if I respond to it, I'm gonna say something nasty. And I know me, you know what I mean? So it's gonna come across really rude and really nasty. So it's like you have to just I'm not gonna respond at all. You know how many people I take out of my news feed and on Facebook? Like that's just the ridiculous. Whatever they just, I take them out the feed. Just take them out.
Yeah, you hit on something like, okay, so something that I did recently was to protect my peace, because I don't have the ability, like I still struggle with the ability to say no or to cut people off, or, to communicate that I can't take that on right now, is I started putting my phone on do not disturb between 10 and 7. I took my notifications off of, all those pop-ups that tell you that somebody responded to your comment, somebody did this. I made my phone turn all of that off. And a friend of ours that we went to school with, he posted maybe about a year ago, I think maybe 2 years ago, Darren was talking about how he restricts his feed so that, a lot of political stuff that comes up, a lot of trendy topics don't show up in his feed, so that he doesn't have to hear it. And initially I thought like, oh, well, the point of social media is to engage. But this year I had a whole new appreciation for that logic, like you said, of turning things off of your feed, because especially with everything going on with, police shootings and all those things, like sometimes exposing yourself to all of it so much can do more damage than, not being informed. And if you don't have the ability to turn it off yourself, to not click on it, like do something to keep it from showing up, automatically, like automate your boundaries. Like you said, turn your feed off. I had to, like, I didn't want to delete a friend, but I had to turn off seeing their stuff, like you said, because while I still like want that person in my life, the stuff that they say and their friends, the stuff that their friends say, and you know what I'm talking about, was making me into conversations like I ain't about to get no. I was about to come through the screen.
I ain't about to go back and forth.
I had to collect myself, and I was like, you know what? Yeah. I have to mute this person, because it's not good for me. I don't need to be getting these arguments with these strangers every day, trying to explain something that don't need to be explained, that shouldn't need to be explained. Yeah. And I lacked the ability to not click it when I saw something touchy. Like, you said what? Oh, exactly. Hell no. Like, just I lack that ability. So now I forget that it's probably all kinds of crazy stuff. Like, I can't imagine the most recent shootings, like what was being said. And I'm like, you know what? I'm so glad that I've forgotten that they exist in a way, because how many fights I would have gotten unnecessarily.
A lot. And it's not worth it. It's not worth it, because you're like, you know what? I probably ain't gonna see this person again anyway. So what's the point? Like, like I'm sitting here arguing with this fool online, and I probably ain't gonna never talk to this person again. What's the point? So it's a matter of letting it go, because like I said, my mouth is filthy. So it's like a matter of, all right, Jay, there's no point in you arguing with this person, especially online, because you like, you can laugh afterwards. Like you got to realize that some people are just simple. And that's it. So it's just a matter of realizing that, and then that's it, letting it go. Like, all right, that's not even worth it. I mean, if I want to laugh, sometimes I'll engage, but then other times it's like, man, I could go harass my sister or go harass somebody else on Facebook as opposed to arguing with a fool. So
right,
yeah.
and I think what was baiting me is, and it goes back to the conversation about listening, is inside I felt like if they could just hear me, then they'll understand. And the reality is some people just simply are not going to hear you. They just, for whatever reason, they lack the ability to really process from multiple perspectives, or they don't want to hear you, point blank, period. Yeah. And you got to be able to, like, let it go. Like, okay, this ain't for you today. I'm not about to fight with you.
Nope.
You don't hear me. And the same is true with your friends. Like, sometimes they ask for your advice. I call them assholes. They ask for your advice all the time, and you give them the advice all the time, and they don't ever give you advice. And and you like, you know what?
Really? Stop calling me. Stop calling me. Like,
we're not gonna talk about it. And I've had to have conversations with friends where it's like, I'm still here for everything but this topic. Like, I don't want to talk about this topic no more because I'm frustrating myself. I'm getting to a point where I'm angry every time we bring up this conversation because it ain't got nothing to do with me, but your situation. Exactly. You letting somebody do X, Y, Z to you, and I'm getting mad. I'm about to fight somebody else.
You're going to continue to do it anyway.
Got to pull myself out of that. Like, I can't hear it anymore. And so, like, that's a boundary, both on the receiving and the ending end of communication. I felt like I wanted to have this conversation about both listening, how to listen and when not to listen. Like, because for your own mental health, we're all going through something right now, one way or the other. And I feel like a lot of people are not having the conversations we need to have right now. And so the more I can help people articulate how to be a good friend for those so they feel safe talking about it, and then how to protect yourself when you really need to be doing some self-care right now. Yeah. I feel like we'll be better off because I know that right now a lot of people are not having conversations that I want people to feel more comfortable having. I want them to, even if it's not talking to a friend, to feel talking to a therapist. And like you said, when you were talking about, like, who do you talk to? So, a misconception I think a lot of people feel about professionals, people who are in a particular industry, especially human services industry, is that because we do a thing that we don't need that thing for ourselves, and we can be so close to a situation that we can't see it with perspective, which is why, I have a coach. Even though I'm a personal financial coach, I have my own coach. I'm too close to my own stuff to see things at the vantage point that someone else can see it. And, I don't know any therapist who hasn't had a therapist at some point or actively keep it. The way people are offloading things on you all day, I can't imagine you don't need to keep that in your back pocket as a regular thing for you to be able to decompress all of the stuff that these kids are, sharing with you. And, I can't imagine how grieved you can become hearing, people's sad stories all day. So it's like people have to understand that, you have things too, even the things they think you're expert on, the thing that they think you don't ever need to talk about because that's your area of expertise. You are too close to your situations a lot of time, and you need that for yourself. If we need it, by all means, you shouldn't feel bad needing it for yourself. If we know everything on paper and we still need that service for ourselves, then no one else should feel bad needing a therapist. They shouldn't feel bad needing a financial coach. They shouldn't feel bad needing anything that they need in life. And society really has to stop making us feel bad for feeling like we need to have those people to learn things like we're talking about, communication skills. These are not soft skills that they were teaching us in school. They were teaching us math, but nobody was teaching us listening skills and, not to this extent. And so the fact that we are struggling with it as an adult, having to learn on the job with our kids, with our spouses, with our coworkers, it's not unreasonable. And we have to stop putting so much weight on ourselves that we didn't get it right the first time, or we made mistakes, or we lost relationships, we lost friends because we handled the situation incorrectly, and just forgive ourselves and give ourselves the opportunity to do better next time. Like, that's all you can do. You can do what you can do.
Great.
So before we get off, because I want to get into this Patty and Gladys Knight versus tonight. It started about 20 minutes ago, and we're gonna get into it. I want to do your 10 question rapid fire before I let you go. So, 10 questions. First thing that comes to mind. What's the last show that you binge watched and loved?
The last show, Saints and Sinners.
Okay. What's your favorite drink to sip on?
I don't drink it like that.
It doesn't have to be an alcohol beverage. Mine just is.
I've been drinking a lot of cranberry juice recently.
Okay. I like cranberry juice, especially if you put some apple. Never mind. Put to make some more cocktails in here.
See, you're over here trying to get me drunk.
Who would be the first person to notice if you were in crisis mode?
It would depend. Where I am. Like if I'm home.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on 1 minute. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can hear them. I can hear them harassing my baby. I'm sorry. So who would be the first person? It probably would be it'd probably be my boyfriend if I'm home.
Okay.
And if I'm not home, it would be my best friend.
Yeah, I feel like that.
And my sister, because my sister is a butthead, but she definitely can tell if something is bothering me. Because she'll come in the house, she's weird. And she'll be like, so how's life treating you? And I'm like, really, bro? Like, who asks those weird questions? And she just randomly will say stuff like that to me after she tries to abuse my baby.
I'm sure she isn't abusing the baby.
She slapped my baby. I'm telling you.
Comments, though.
She will, but she knows she did it. She'll say, stop telling people that. It's the truth.
Finish this sentence. Therapy is
amazing. Like that's the best thing.
Yeah, I agree. It needs to be normalized as a regular routine thing that we've been doing. The way we go to a pediatrician, we need to normalize that at a young age, so that when we're adults, it's not weird. It's part of your full body health care. Your mind and your body is being cared for. Describe yourself as a teenager in 3 words. This will be interesting because I know you.
Mean as hell. That's the only thing I can think of.
You know what? Yes. I'm gonna contest that.
All right. What you got?
Know you thought that you were mean as hell because you could project that. Like, you have perfected resting bitch face.
Yes. Yes, I have.
But anybody who really, really knows you knows you're actually really sweet and really nice. Yeah. And but I could completely see how people were intimidated to discover that for themselves.
True.
What's your favorite color?
Blue.
What's the best piece of advice you've received?
Let me think, because you know what, I can honestly say I've been blessed to have a lot of people who can actually gave me great advice, whether it came from a teacher or even my clinical director. So I would say one of the things they've always said to me is to take care of yourself first. So that's the best advice I've received thus far, is to take care of yourself first.
That's good. I'm thinking about that whole mask in the airplane. Put your mask on first.
Yeah.
Can't help nobody if you dead.
You can't. If you can't breathe, how are you gonna help the next person?
That's something I'm working on.
You gotta think about it. Without any air, how can you actually help somebody else? Like you can't. Mm-hmm. It's not possible. So you have to take care of yourself first. You have to.
It's a mindset shift that I've had to have to be able to say to myself, the most selfless thing I could do for my family is to take care of myself, to take care of me first. That's actually not selfish to do that, to show up for them better. So yeah, that's a good piece of advice you got. Where was the location of the vacation you had the most fun at?
Barbados.
I haven't been. I have been wanting to go.
We just went in February. When I tell you it's beautiful and it's amazing, we had a ball. And I was just found out I was pregnant. So I was still nauseous and everything. We had a ball.
Oh, what area were you? Do you remember what area you were in? Was it like a cruise or
It was a cruise. We took a cruise.
That's on my list of places to visit.
Definitely.
Where would you build your Marcus said that's his home country.
Oh, all right. He Bayesian. All right.
Marcus, I hear your accent when you talk, but I always thought you were Jamaican. So I'm glad you clarified that for me. We lost Jamila again. We're gonna get her back in here. Best place to be nauseated. Yeah, I had no idea you were Asian. See if we can get her back in here. Let's go. Going back to her sister said that the Wi-Fi is shoddy. That could be it. That could be part of the problem. Hopefully we can get her back in here so we can give a proper farewell and ask her last question. Last two questions.
Oh, it got too hot.
You ain't pay your Verizon bill.
I don't even have Verizon. I have T-Mobile, thank you. But no, it shut off. It got too hot because I had the split screen on.
Okay, well, we about to wrap up anyway. I got two more questions before we give our salutations. Okay. Where would you build your dream home?
Honestly, I'll probably build my dream home in Plainfield.
Really? Where in Plainfield?
The good part, where I live. I mean, nice area. Like that's my niece would say, Sleepy Hollow. You want to live in Sleepy Hollow? It would be it would definitely be in Plainfield. Only because, I mean, I've always been somebody to give back to our community. You know, like we bought our house in Plainfield. You know, I have kids that I counsel in Plainfield. My daughter still goes to Plainfield schools. So I would say in Plainfield. I mean, my boyfriend probably wouldn't agree with me. He's probably going to say somewhere down south. But if I could absolutely build my dream home, it would probably be in Plainfield.
Like that. I love Sleepy Hollow too. I would say that area up down Woodland Ave, probably closer to when you get to like, is that Randolph? Where is that?
Yeah, Randolph Road. Yeah, by the Hubstein.
Yeah, what street is that Hubstein Field is on? Is that Randolph?
Randolph.
Okay.
Yep. Randolph and Marlboro.
Yeah, that area is nice in Plainfield, and I think down Watchung, like near where Tiffany lives, her family lives. Yeah, that area is really nice too. Plainfield is one of those cities that's like, it's run down now because of the race riots years ago, but you could see the bones of it and how beautiful it really was at some point. And if you imagine all these houses that they turned into apartment complexes and multifamily homes, like you could see like the potential in the city if people take time to invest in it and build it up.
And they're really building it up now.
Plainfield, New Jersey. Yes, that's where Jamelia and I are from. Did you hear I got that right? Last one, fill in the blank. A life with fierce vision is what?
Optimal. I mean, you have to be able to see clearly in order to do anything.
Awesome.
So that's it's optimal. I like the fierce vision.
Yes, I agree. Thank you so much for jumping on here today. Thank you guys, all your friends and family who jumped on, who took time, who missed some of Patty's show. I mean, maybe they got it on their phones too. Patty's show. Obviously, y'all know who I'm. I ain't really root for either one way or the other because I like them both. But Patty, to be fair, y'all missed some of Patty to join this conversation, and I really, really hope that having this conversation has given you guys some things to think about to become a better listener. It certainly has given me some things to think about being a better listener, just shifting my mindset about some things that I thought, kind of coming into conversations, in particular, knowing why people are talking to you in the first place and kind of, having that piece to know, like, I don't really need to inject myself to help them feel more comfortable sharing their truth. They already feel comfortable. That would be more for me. So hopefully you guys got a lot out of this conversation. It is going to be on the podcast in a few days. I'll make sure that I drop that information and I tag Jamelia in it. So that way, for those of you guys who do not already follow me, if you don't follow me, go ahead and follow me. Click the like on the Young Rich Fruity page, join the Facebook group. Right now we're doing our Sip and Save Sunday. No, that's just me, Sip and Saving. Right now we're doing our No Spend September challenge. My head ain't even already in it. I have a little bit too much pineapple rum in here probably. We're doing our No Spend September challenge this month. We're almost halfway through it. I'm running really low on food, so it's getting real dicey right now on what I can cook. But I'm determined to go as many days as I can go without spending any money. And so far, I have been successful. I haven't spent a dime this month. So if you guys are interested and want to join the challenge, even if it's only a couple of weeks left in the month, it can still be beneficial for you to try it, to see, to kind of dip your toe in the water. This year is easy. Like, we can't go nowhere anyway. So, I mean, exactly. It's real easy to not spend money right now. So if you guys are interested, that's in the description already. Jamelia, I want to share your information in case somebody wants to reach out to you. I know that there are lots of resources, and finding a good therapist and a good fit is important. And so if Jamelia is somebody who you would like to reach out to just to kind of get some more resources and figure out where to start that journey, whether it's with her or with somebody else, her information is on the screen. Yeah, thank you again. I know you just had a baby 2 weeks ago. So for you to take time away from little man to spend time with our audience today is just so dope. Like, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
They walked in here so many times looking at me like, you done? You done? I'm like, no, like, relax. They done walked in here so many times because he started crying. I'm like, oh my God, they harassing my baby. I can hear them. I can hear them.
Get back to little man. Congratulations again. I cannot wait to see pictures because I'm internet auntie. All the internet aunties and uncles of the world want to see the little baby grow up. So until I manage my way to get back home to New Jersey, which at this point, I don't know when that will be, I will be internet auntieing from Facebook. So
all right.
Thank you. See you guys. Have a good time.
Bye.
All right.